Okay, so now we're getting to the meat of the matter. The affidavit that the receiver has filed that he referenced in the first video that I made. Okay, this affidavit is 65 pages long, and it details his job. He is the receiver. He goes over all the background information. Then we get to the heart of the matter, where he says, I have asked for bank statements from these entities to make sure that I'm doing what the court has ordered me to do, and that there's no commingling, even though I see that there's commingling with all these transfers. So he says he asked for the records from Grant Sidney, and he received a single record from a single Grant Sidney account maintained at Cal Private Bank, account that was opened in February 2025. However, he looked in the company's email system, which he has full access to. I don't know if they forgot about that. That reflect that Grant Sidney has maintained other bank accounts that were not disclosed by the Weepers. So he's like, I said, give me the bank accounts. You gave me one from February of 2025. Girl, who is you playing with? That's what he said. In my head, that's what he said. So he includes an exhibit that shows a statement from First National Bank of Middle Tennessee that has a number of accounts for entities related to the company, including those for Grant Sidney that he did not receive statements for. He goes on to talk about, because he done went and looked at this Senzaki emails back in 2021 and 2022. He said there was a bank account that Grant Sidney had where funds were transferred from a bank account belonging to Uncle Nearest to an account belonging to Fawn Weaver, and then to an account belonging to Grant Sidney, and then ultimately to a Canadian company known as LS Krim. Who the fuck is LS Krim? That's a lot of moving. It's a lot of moving of money. So he says, while I have some questions about the nature of this transfer generally, the more troubling issue is that no Grant Sidney bank account records prior to February 2025 were produced to me despite repeated requests and repeated assurances that all bank account statements were produced. He's like, girl, I can see that there is another account that I don't have access to. Do you know that I can see that you can see that we can see? So that's his first issue. So he has other exhibits that he has put in here. He says, even though they may have some explanations for some of the transfers, the sheer volume of the transfers lets him know that they were substantially commingled with the company. There was no lines, no boundaries. Everything just mingled up in there together, child. And he also notes that there were no arm's length transactions. Like there's no promissory notes, there's no repayment plans, nothing. It's just the money's over here, the money's over there, the money's over here, the money's over there. So it's all together. Now he goes into this $20 million transfer between Grant Sidney and Uncle Nearest. It's a lot. So I'm just going to turn my computer around for y'all to read it, pause to read, and try to figure it out yourself because it's convoluted. So here it is. And then I'll scroll down a little bit so you can read some more. And you gotta love those footnotes down there. Next in his affidavit, he talks about the motion for reconsideration. He says he's decided to not take any position on this. He says the court put me in charge of this for a reason. I'm not going to argue to keep doing this. If the judge wants to take me off, I'm cool. He said, y'all figure that out. I'm not going to argue either way, to stay or to go. He said, I do have some information, though, that I feel is relevant, so I'm going to share that now. He said that he feels that his second quarterly report accurately describes the current financial and operational status of the company, as well as all the actions that he has taken while being the receiver of the company. He said, however, since people want to make other accusations, since I filed my second report, I need to add some more facts into the case of what's going on. He said, based on the records reviewed to date and the company's ongoing cash needs, the company appears to be insolvent. Under both the cash flow and balance sheet analysis, the company still cannot pay its obligations as they become due because of substantial budget cuts I have made to the company's operations. Its monthly losses have been reduced from approximately $1 million per month to approximately $100,000 per month. He says this is exclusive of the professional fees that I am incurring as a part of this receivership, which the Weavers note is substantial. And he says Farm Credit is currently funding those professional fees as well as the operational losses. Here's where it's important. Here's where it gets really wild and crazy. Why they wanted this under seal. Because he's trying. We're going to come back to that. He says, based upon my conversations with counsel from Farm Credit, I believe that Farm Credit would immediately cease covering these operational losses and move to foreclose on and repossess its collateral upon the expiration of this receivership. Those losses are also exclusive of debt service, depreciation, and other non-cash expenses. So basically, you can get rid of this receivership if you want to. They're going to take your IP. They're going to take your company because you put it all up for collateral. It all belongs to them. He said he read the Weavers, what they said about how if the receivership is over, they can balance the budget and get everything back on track. He says, I do not believe that the company can operate profitably without a substantial and immediate influx of capital and more financial discipline than has been previously exercised by the company. I'm going to stop right here. I need to make another part because this is already long and we only on page 13 of 65, girl.